What's up, guys? So it's been a while since I've done a Dead by Daylight build video. In this video, we're going to be looking at 3 different builds that I currently like using in the game since I've came back to it. I used to cover this game like 4 years ago, but there's been a lot of perks and new stuff that's came to the game that I really enjoy using, and even still enjoy using some of my old builds as well. So in no particular order, I'm not saying these are the best builds to use or anything like that. These are just ones that I have a lot of fun and enjoyment, and they work really well for me. So first off, we have Blast Mine in this first build. This is sort of I wouldn't say gen Russian build, but you can claim it as that. It's more of an information build, if anything, and just to kind of counter perks like Pop Goes the Weasel, which is a pretty predominant perk around killer builds. So Blast Mine is a Jill Valentine perk. Basically, you work on a 40% of the generator, and then you can install a Blast Mine. And when the killer goes to kick the generator, they will get a big Blast Mine in their face, and they'll get blinded. So it's a nice little perk there. Combining that with Wiretap, which is an Wong perk. Again, working on 40% worth of repair progress on generators. So as soon as you've done 40%, you can install Wiretap, and you can install Blast Mine. So what Wiretap does, it reveals the killer's aura in a 14-meter radius. Now, we're going to combine that with open-handed, so when the killer comes near our generator, it's given a lot more information to the teammates that the killer is around this generator, and, information is very key in this game. Open-handed is an Ace Visconti perk. It's one of the better perks in the game, actually, if you are doing sort of aura reading stuff, because it does extend the aura reading ranges on perks. So it works very well with Wiretap and, yeah, Blast Mine as well. So the killer comes over at the generator, goes to kick the generator. Everybody's going to see them on the aura. You're kind of showing everybody, look how dumb this killer is, and then they hit the Blast Mine. You can see it on the aura across the map, and yeah, it's really fun running open-handed with Wiretap as well. Just, even if you're looping the killer around the generator, this is the benefits of that. If you put it on, say, a generator inside the shack, or even in a main building, it's going to highlight where the killer is, and you can basically make your plays around there and how you're going to loop the killer and avoid them around the shack or around the main building. That's mainly where I like to put Wiretap, but honestly, I put it on pretty much any generator. I don't normally put it on the generator that I first start off with. At the start of the game, if I'm not being chased or I'm sitting on the generator by myself and I feel like I'm going to get a complete without the killer coming over, I'm not going to waste my Wiretap or my Blast Mine on there. It's mainly going to be used in the main building or in the shack, so bear that in mind when you're running this build. It's a better place to put it. Now for the fourth perk, we have Deja Vu. Mainly just do this to get the 6% repair speed bonus. Also, it's really good and handy for people who struggle to find generators. It's not really hard to find generators in this game, but I just like to have the 6% repair speed bonus. That way I can, get my Blast Mine and Wiretap relatively fast as well. Now, you can replace Deja Vu with Kindred if you do choose to do that. And the benefit of choosing Kindred over Deja Vu is that when you're hooked, you will reveal the killer's aura with open-handed, so you can basically see the killer at a great distance from your hook, so the teammates can figure out where the killer is, and then they can come and save you there. So that is the first build that I like to run. Like I said, you can interchange Deja Vu with Kindred. It all just depends if you want faster gens or if you want to communicate better with your random teammates. Now, for the second build, now this is a personal favorite of mine. This is one that I've ran all those years ago as well when I used to play the game, and it still holds up to this day. It's so good. Now, we start off with Adrenaline. Now, Adrenaline is... It's still a good perk, even though it has been nerfed, but it's still great just to get that health state when you are being chased at the end of the game. And, it definitely came in handy when I was doing this build again to have Adrenaline there. Adrenaline isn't necessary in this build, but the reason why I leave Adrenaline in here is that we heavily rely on this build for resilience and being injured, so this is why I like to use it. And it's basically just to get through the generators a lot quicker as well. So once the generators are complete quicker, then your adrenaline's going to pop, and then you're going to get your health state back in anyway. And then for the second perk, we got Iron Will. So Iron Will doesn't work with exhaustion. However, it is great for mind gaming the killer in every chase. And so many killers rely on audio, like Spirit, for example. Having Iron Will there just really helps you mind game so much around loops. And then to help you find the loops, we have Windows of Opportunity. I know a lot of people run this perk. I'm currently running it right now because, like I said, I've been away from the game a long time, and a lot of the tiles and stuff have changed. There's a lot of new maps in the game, so having this has really helped me out. especially for people who are new to the game as well. This is probably one of the best starter perks that you can find right now, which is a Kate Denson perk. By the way, Iron Will is a Jake perk as well, and Adrenaline is a Meg Thomas perk, for those of you who don't know. So Windows, again, is a way to use in Windows, honestly, because a lot of people will just be like, you know, we just run, you're just seeing auras of palettes and windows and stuff like that. But Windows has the best information available right there to combine tiles. So you can see where there's a couple of pallets around. You can run the kill around those couple of pallets. You can run them around the shack or a T&L wall that's combined together. So it's really there for me to extend loops rather than just being like, oh, what's the safe place here of just being one pallet? You know, it's really good just to combine tiles together rather than doing anything else. But on top of that, you know, combined with Iron Will, it's just great for mind game. And then we have Resilience. When you're injured, you get 9% speed on doing everything in the game, basically. So vaulting, main thing here is why we got Resilience on. Also repairing generators as well. It's great for that, which combines with our Adrenaline very nicely. But most of the time, you know, when I have been running this build, I've been getting, you know, pretty aggressively chased. So the killer's been really difficult to, you know, found it difficult to actually catch me. So by the time they do catch me, most of the generators are done and I've got my Adrenaline popped. And, you know, for the item I bring with this build normally is just a med kit, because I like to 99 the heal while I'm repairing a generator, for example. Just say I've been hooked, you know, I'm injured. I'll go and 99 myself as a heal, and then I've constantly got the Resilience then. If the killer comes over to me, it's just one tap away to go and fully healed again, and I've got all the benefits of the 9% before I've healed myself there. So this is still just like I said, a personal favorite of mine that I used to run all those years ago. And you notice with these builds, I don't throw exhaustion perks in here because I just really don't rate them. And I'll explain why in another video. But yeah, let's move on to the third one real quick. Okay, so for the third build, this is sort of another gen rush build or gen oriented build, but it also helps you take care of hex totems and, you know, giving you buffs for doing that. So we start off with Overzealous, which is a haddie perk. Don't really see many people running this, to be honest, but basically cleansing or blessing a totem gives you a 10% repair speed bonus on a generator. This bonus is doubled if you do cleanse or bless a hex totem as well, so you can get a 20% speed bonus on repairing a generator, which is crazy. However, this perk does deactivate when you lose a health state by any means, so you got to be kind of a bit sneaky using this perk. But you know, when you do get the benefit of using this, it's, you know, you can just speed through the generators really fast, which is good. It's honestly one of my favorite gen rushing builds right now, because it also combines with small game. Small game will give you a little noise indicator when you are looking in the direction of a totem. And obviously we need a totem to activate Overzealous, so having small game there. Small game for me is probably the best totem perk to use right now, just because there is Counter Force, there is Detective's Hunch, but small game is very simple and it tells you how many totems have been cleansed and all that stuff that's in the game. So that's why I use small game over any other totem perk in the game right now. And then we have Deja Vu again. Like I said, we're doing some gen rushing sort of with this. You know, the great thing about small game as well, you know, detecting where those hex totems are, if there's a ruin, you know, Blood Favor is a popular one right now as well. Plaything, you know, there's Devour Hope I've been seeing around again as well. So, you know, this is quite a few killers running hex totems there, so which is going to benefit your Overzealous even more, because it's going to give you the 20% speed bonus, as long as you're not the one getting chased, of course, because that's when you're going to lose it. But another thing which is good is we have Inner Strength here, which is just basically a free heal. This is a Nancy Wheeler perk. When you do cleanse a totem, you activate Inner Strength, and then when you go into a locker, Inner Strength will heal you up in 8 seconds. So it's basically a free heal, because we're cleansing totems to get the speed bonus on the generators as well. So in total, we should get a 26% speed bonus on generators if you are on a revealed generator by Deja Vu. That's if you cleanse a hex. If you don't cleanse a hex, then you're going to get 16%, which is still really good. And, you know, combined if other people are wearing use Improve Thyself or something along those lines, you're going to do really well just speeding through the generators in this game, because, you know, I feel like gen rushing is one of the key things in this game right now that people are doing. I know a lot of people are saying that we're sort of in a healing meta and stuff as well right now, but generator is always the most important thing. So anything to help us get through the generators much faster is is a big win in my book, and I've been having so much fun using this build as well. You know, just testing out these newer perks and stuff. It's been really fun. I'm sure I'll come up with some other builds that I enjoy, but right now, you know, coming back to the game, these are the 3 builds that I've had the most success with and the ones I've been enjoying the most using. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Let me know your thoughts on my 3 builds. Are they terrible? What would you replace in some builds? Honestly, like I said, there's some things are just interchangeable. Like with the first build, you can run Kindred instead of Deja Vu, but you know, it's entirely up to play style, really. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've been Pixels, my awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.